Hello everyone. This is a practice session for going live. I want to go live to build up some of my watch hours because, as you know, YouTube unlocks certain features once you have a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of watch hours. If you have 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, they'll open up the membership sections. So that seems pretty interesting to me. I think that would be interesting to you too as a follower. I know some people don't like paywalls like that. They're kind of resentful that we're hiding stuff behind there. But it's really not like that. It's just a way to support me as a creator. A way to, without directly donating, you get something in return. And to give back to, and let's see, what am I trying to say here? To give you something for your money, for donating like that. Usually it's something like early access to videos. So if you don't become a member, you don't really miss out on too much. Another thing it can be used for is things that maybe aren't suitable for a wider audience. YouTube has its rules and regulations, and they apply to membership content too. But there are things that maybe aren't against the rules, but you wouldn't want to show it wide anyway. I'm thinking things like butchering an animal, things like that, or harvesting an animal, or things that are a little more distasteful, but part of living off grid, part of homesteading. So you can kind of put that behind a paywall. Might be interesting. I'd like the option anyway, even if I don't end up doing it. So I'm going to go live to build up those watch hours. I have 2,600 watch hours, and I need 3,000. And I have the 500 subscribers, so I'm almost there. So I'm going to try going live. But it's a little daunting. I'm a little nervous, so I want to practice a little bit. Number one, there's the mechanics of going live. You use the YouTube software, see if my hardware works, things like that. And then the other is, my setup, is the noise and things like that. And then just, me personally about being live. Like, now that I know I'm live, I desperately want to touch my face, which you're not supposed to do, on camera. But you know how it is. So let's see. I got a few notes. Talked about going live in the watch hours. Let's see. So the mechanics of going live. Ideally, I'd like to do what they call a screencast, which is my face there talking to you, but also you could see my computer screen. So if we get into better, heavier topics, I could show you, spreadsheets at the same time, or pictures or videos or anything that I'm doing. We could even talk about stuff going on the internet now, news. I could open up a news site in my browser, talk about headlines or something. That's another option. I haven't got there yet. Right now I'm worried about just talking on camera. When I make the YouTube videos, they're heavily scripted. It takes 3-4 days to write a script, and just to get my head wrapped around the topic, and then I usually write a rough draft and realize that everything I said is crazy. So then I have to, edit it back down into a tight, reasonable script. Not a wandering mess of jumble of topics. So, focused and tight. And then, and then I type out or write out the script, and then I film the video. But I tend to stumble on my words, and like I said, keep touching my face, and there's animals in the background and stuff that you have to take multiple takes. So I usually do 20 takes or whatever. And you'll notice my editing. I need more practice editing, but so my edits are a little hard. But gosh, sometimes I can only get out one sentence at a time before I have to, cut it. So that's a lot different than live. So practice would be good. Remember long ago, gosh, 10 and sometimes 20 years ago, I joined Toastmasters. I don't know if you know about Toastmasters. And basically, you give little tight 5-minute speeches during a lunch break or something like that. There's a bunch of people. Everybody gives their speech, and everybody, and the people not giving the speech at the moment are the audience. So it's a live practice. They give out little awards, trying to make it fun and stuff. If you need someplace to talk to, if you need somebody to listen to you talk, it's good. I think you can advance beyond it pretty quickly. It's pretty tight. They'll grade your speech, and you're not allowed to say the word like, like this and like that, or so. So I wanted to talk today about, they would ding you for starting with the word so. Little tight things like that. But I got some practice there. I did that for a while. About 6 months, I think, before I got tired and left. You don't get to talk as much as you want because, there's 20 people. You can only have 3 or 4 speeches per session. So, maybe once a month you get to give a little 5-minute speech. I also did a little practice on stand-up. I'm not funny, so I didn't have any jokes. So it wasn't great, but they had a little stage in some of these bars and stuff with the spotlights. So that is intimidating with a microphone. You have to stand the right distance from the microphone, and you have to deal with those bright lights. You can't see the audience. It's pretty blinding, so it's very intimidating. But I gave non-funny speeches. I talked about bucket of crab, competition. All these comics were competing with each other and stuff at these open mics. And, I gave a quick little speech that said, you should help each other instead of, tear each other down. And they liked it, but it wasn't funny, so, what am I doing there? And then I tried to give a few jokes, but what's funny to me and what's funny to a wider audience, isn't the same. You can give the one-liner jokes, punchline type jokes, and then you can give funny stories, amusing situations and stuff. And all my stuff ended up being very mean. I could tell I was insulting one person or another. So I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, there's lots of insult comics out there, but I didn't want to do that. This is all bad karma. So I did that for about 6 months too. But it was good practice. You learn to calm down your heartbeat, when you're very nervous or something, and force yourself to take a couple breaths. And that was it. Another thing I'd like to practice, these live sessions are a little bit longer. Nobody really wants to tune into a 5-minute live talk. Usually the way I see it, you announce it, hypothetically Friday at 5 p.m. I'm going to give a little talk so people can join in and listen. So you want to talk for at least 30 minutes or an hour, plus I want to build up the watch time. So, gosh, I'm not used to talking this much. I live alone out here in the off-grid. I don't talk very much. There's not much to say to my goats. So those videos I do every week, for my recorded videos, is probably the most talking I do in a while. You quickly go to a store to buy some chicken food and stuff, but how much do you really say please and thank you, to the cashier, and that's it. So I don't even know if my vocal cords are going to hold up, so that's another reason I'm practicing. Also with live, like Saturday Night Live or any live TV, you can say something wrong, you can curse accidentally on TV, or just go down the wrong rabbit hole, or say something you shouldn't, or say something that sounds like you shouldn't be saying it. You can be misinterpreted and stuff. So I want to practice that and gathering my thoughts together before I speak while being live, so I don't have to issue all sorts of apologies every week. I'm a little nervous about that. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I just want to make sure it won't. Let's see. And then I'm going to test what's my likability factor. If I make a weird expression, or I don't talk a lot, sometimes I end up shouting when I don't mean to be shouting. Just the vocal cords need a little more exercise. So, so when I edit, sometimes I go, oh, why did I shout that line in my script? So I'll re-edit it and say, let me talk a little softer. Let me smile when I say that, not frown when I say that type of thing. So with live, I want to test that out. Am I frowning and shouting at you the whole time? I want to make sure that I'm not. So I know before I came off grid here, I had a job and I dealt with people every day for long stretches of time. I can't say I was well liked. I can't honestly say any of my coworkers liked me, even a little bit. Maybe at first, but once they got to know me, they I did not fit in. So I seem to be doing okay with the recorded videos, but something's going on there. I don't know what it is. Trying to be honest with myself and really figure it out. Maybe something I can change. So let's see how this live works. I'm sure eventually one of you will tell me what I did wrong. I think sometimes I read a lot. I've always read a lot. Since a very young age, I really love science fiction books. So I would read, and then as I got older, eventually, when I was a young man in my 20s and stuff, I'd read you could read a book a night, or a novel a night, or let's say 4 a week or something. That really improves your vocabulary and just the concepts you're dealing with and things. And things you assume other people do, but they haven't read hundreds of books, so they don't know it either. So it can be a little alienating to people. You're using big words and strange concepts and stuff. So, eventually somebody realizes, your coworker at the deli or whatever realizes, this guy rubs me the wrong way with his big words and stuff. So that could be it too. We'll see. Oh, and then I'm gonna test. I can't really do it outside. Not a live stream. I don't have I don't have enough battery power in my computer, so it won't. I need to plug it in. So, and it's pretty harsh out there. My goat's, aren't gonna let a computer. My goat's gonna ram the computer and knock over a tripod or anything, things like that. And it's windy and there's lots of distractions and things. So I have to be inside. But my little RV is pretty cramped and stuffed. Gosh, I can't even show you a picture, but I look like a hoarder. I have more stuff than I have space for right now. I have to finish building my shed. I have to build my house. But it's not junk. It's stuff I don't want to throw away. Tools and stuff. I've got a pile of tools and spare electronics you don't want to throw away and things like that. So besides that, just physically, it's a really tight, cramped little RV. So there's a little kitchen table and a captain's chair, and I tried to sit down in there. I said, I'll put the computer on the table, but I was right. The computer was right here, and I said, oh, this is a little tight. So I've got a computer on the bed and I'm sitting on the floor. So and I have this just a blanket on my just as covering a window. Otherwise, the backlight I'd be in shadows. I'd be washed out. This is just a crappy Walmart blanket that I've had for years. I had a better looking blanket. It's kind of more of a, maybe like a green screen or a much nicer backdrop, but I pulled it out and I was going to hang it up, but the mice chewed through it over the winter, so that was a unpleasant surprise. I guess I don't know if they were living there or just for the nest. They were just, I don't see a nest, but I do see, they ate all the fuzz. It was kind of like one of those velvet or fleece, I guess is the word. So I have this one. I also have, I bought some a green cloth for my green screen. You'll see on some of my other videos I use a green screen. I have that, I usually try to film outside so you can see how nice it is where I live, but if I can't film outside, I film inside. But like I said, it's cramped, and then I can find a nice little corner, but it's just 1980s paneling. So I said, wow, let me put a nice mountain vista or something behind me. I think it's nicer to look at than my peeling wallpaper. So that's another thing I'm testing out. We'll see how this works. And I downloaded some software to do the screencast eventually, like I said, so you can see me, mouse clicks, and if I want to open a website or show you something, or spreadsheets or something like that, little tutorials, whatever you think is useful. I'm not sure what there is to talk about. I have on my notes just test freeform off the top of my head, but gosh, I cannot think of anything more to say. I imagine if this was live, I'd have some comments I could look at, and people asking questions and prompts for things to talk about. So, and I wonder how I talked. Let's see. The timer says it's been about 17 minutes. That's better than I thought. I'm going to try to go for 30, so 10 more minutes. So let's see. Let's go. What's going on with the homestead? Chickens are doing well. They're laying. For most of February, I was getting about 4. I have 8 hens. I have 8 hens, and I was getting about 4 eggs a day for most of February. But it's slowly increased. And I got 7 this morning, 6 or 7 a day. So that's a lot of eggs. It's just me here for one person. 7 eggs a day is a lot of eggs, and if I don't eat that many, they're gonna, keep building up. So I like to make pickled eggs. I can eat a lot of pickled eggs once they're made, and I like to mix them in with my recipes. Gosh, you make a loaf of bread, you can crack 1 or 2 eggs in a loaf of bread. Hamburger buns have eggs as part of the recipe. I'll make pasta, crack an egg in there, spaghetti sauce and an egg, why not? Brownies, cookies, cakes, all those baked goods have eggs and stuff, so try to use it. I don't eat that much of that stuff, though. I'm gaining weight as it is, so I'm probably eating too much. I need to eat less, not more. And also I have rabbits giving me meat, so it's honestly, it's too much meat, too much protein at this time, so I don't know. I think I may scale back my rabbits as much as I can. Now, the chickens seem to be doing well. As it gets warmer, I may try to hatch some, see if they'll sit on it. Or if not, I'll get a little incubator and hatch some, and I can have meat birds occasionally. And then I won't need the rabbits because I've got eggs and chicken. So the chickens are doing well. The goats are also doing well. The weather, it's just starting to green up. I see little tiny shoots sprouting in the dirt and stuff. An occasional green blade of grass here and there, but not yet. But it's enough for the animals to hunt and peck around for. So they're grazing more than they usually do. I have my little baby goat. It's very cute. It's just starting to get its little horns, and then it likes to ram me. It's playing, learning how to be a goat. But it's very small, so it doesn't hurt at all. But as it gets bigger, it's going to be a jerk, like my adult male goat. It's going to be a real pain in the butt. But I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it, though. I didn't castrate it or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it. I think they'll kill each other. 2 male goats and 1 female is just not enough to go around. So I think they'll end up fighting dangerously. So I'll probably cull the baby male goat in a month or 2. So that'll be more meat. He's still nursing. He's starting to eat solid food a little bit, but still nursing. So I'm waiting. I have to figure out how to start milking these goats. I mean, that's the whole point of the goat. So I'll have to figure that out. She's a little skittish. Like she won't let me cut her nails. I have to tackle her and hold her down. Whereas the male goat is fine. He'll let me play with his hooves and stuff. So she's a little skittish. I don't know how she'll be when I finally try to milk her. And she also might possibly be pregnant again. Last week the male goat went into a rut, I guess. He was nuts. He was kind of howling. Woo, makes a weird noise like that. And he was chasing her around and stuff. And for a few days she was running away from him. He was chasing her. She was running. But then she stopped running. So I didn't actually see the mate, but she stopped running. And then after a couple of days of that, he lost interest. He's not chasing her anymore. So that everybody is calm and quiet. Seems like she might be bred again. So we'll see how that goes. But it's good. I'd like more females. I have a little goat herd and stuff. I eat a lot of cheese, so goat milk would be nice for me. I don't drink much milk. I don't know if goat milk is good in coffee and things like that, but cheese is good. So yogurt too, things like that. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's a lot of food, so I just have to work on my garden. I'm going to make a video very soon about gardening and stuff, or at least what I'm doing right now, which is still very early in the year for a garden. So I'm going to talk about that in a bit. And let's see what else is going on. Oh, there's construction, of course. I have to show progress in my house every 6 months. So I see the people in the neighborhood. With some binoculars, I can see across the valley, and most people kind of let it sit, and then you can see suddenly there's a little flurry of activity every 6 months or so, and so, I can see they're kind of stretching it a little bit, but I have that coming up soon, a little flurry of activity. I'm still working on my foundation, still pouring concrete, so, it's still raining now. It rains, it's been raining about once a week this past month or so. And the rain comes in sideways. Even with a tarp, my concrete gets wet and it solidifies. So, it's $7-8 a bag. I don't want to waste all that money. So I try to squeeze it in between rain. Last week I bought about 10 bags of concrete. I was ready to do a section of my foundation. But it started raining a couple days before the weather predicted it would. So I scrambled, covered it up as best as I could, waited for a break in the rain, and quickly poured the concrete. I didn't do a very good job. There's some big old voids in there. So I'm not sure. If somebody was paying me to do this, if I was professional, I'd probably have to jackhammer it out and re-pour it. I don't want to do that. I can't really afford to do that, so I'm not sure what to do. Maybe kind of just leave it. I think I'm going to get some mortar or some very thin concrete cement and, fill in any kind of surface voids that I can see, with a trowel. I don't know what in the center there. I don't know if that's going to be a weak spot or anything. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is my foundation gonna settle later? Is it gonna crack? As long as the building doesn't fall down, that's fine. This is just for me. If I've got a cracked foundation, I'm fine with it. If my house falls down on my head, I'm not fine. But if I just have a cracked foundation, I'll be okay. So that's the beauty of there's this owner opt-out thing. It's just for me, if I ever sell the property, I don't have a certificate of occupancy. So basically, if I ever sell this, or pass it on to a relative or something if I pass away, It's basically the land, the house. You're not going to get a loan for the house or anything, so you just bulldoze the house down and start fresh. But it's nice land, so my septic is still here, and that's permitted to code. So I'm still improving the land and stuff, and it'll still increase in value and stuff. It's just the house. I have to assume the next person would just bulldoze it down. So, but I look around at the ruins, and I see that, they've been done slip form, a little bit at a time, concrete, cement mixed with native dirt to make concrete, and gosh, I have it's a little building around out back, and in the neighboring towns, little buildings, and hundreds of years old, or 100 years old at least, from the early 1900s. So, I'm almost 50, so how long am I going to live? Another 30 years or so, right? So if these are lasting 100 years, if mine lasts 30 years, that's all I need it for. So try not to kill myself. I don't want to injure myself. I don't want to bankrupt myself. Just, I'm trying to survive out here. That's just enough. I don't need too much luxury. I just need it to be just good enough. So, let's see. What else am I doing? I got my goats. I'm going to start my garden, building my house. And that's it. That's off-grid living. Let's see. I'm just at about 30 minutes. So that's pretty good. I don't know if I'll ever be able to talk for an hour, even with interacting with people. That's a whole lot of talking. I am pretty tired, but at least I can do 30 minutes. We've seen that. I proved it to myself. So I'm going to upload this video. I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to upload it. That's another test. Deal with the embarrassment of it, and hopefully you enjoy it. And you can look forward to more practices or going live. So we'll see if I can get it to work. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Oh, that is not a touch screen.